if you are going to live by your value systems, be prepared to be isolated. My name is Emmanuel Dei-Tumi, President of Human Capital International, a company that is passionate about the potential of Africa. For the last 3 decades, we have conducted trainings in the areas of leadership and entrepreneurship development because we believe that Africa is the hope of the future. If you're a leader, an entrepreneur, and a young leader on the continent that believes that Africa is the hope of the future, let's make this our mission. Gently like this video, subscribe, and please share all videos that come on this channel. Let's grow Africa's future together because we believe Africa indeed is the hope of the future. So it is very, very important for everybody to understand that leadership is about empowerment. In fact, one of the functions you play as a leader is to groom people who can knock you off the current position you occupy. If you can't do that, then you are not a good leader. Are we together? Because you're supposed to grow out of the job. For somebody, in any case, you go on retirement anyway. You are not Methuselah. So if you leave, and I've seen institutions where the CEO can be there for 15 years, 20 years. When he's leaving, they have to go outside and bring a new CEO to come and occupy the position. Or they bring him back on contract. There's a big question mark on the board operational level of the organization. So we are saying that, ladies and gentlemen, if you look at the two definitions, look at the first one. Leadership is the process whereby an individual influences a group of individuals to achieve a common goal. Then Kota also say that leadership is the development of vision and strategies. Leadership is not a one-time thing, guys. And that is why when you are given the responsibility of a department or of an organization, the day you step in there, you must ask yourself, what is going to be my people development plan? And then you hit the road running from day one. Because leaders are not made overnight. Are we together? It's a process. What does it mean? It is a process because leadership is not so much of a title or position, but a relational process between the leader and the followers. Very, very important. Let's get that. So as a manager, as a leader of your department, the relationship you build, you establish, and next week we shall talk more about relationship, because the problem most of us do is that we want to build relationship based on friendship. Now when you build relationship based on friendship, the friendship will come and undermine you. Now don't forget that you were promoted from a team. Yeah? You were promoted from a team. And that is why in some organizations they say that if you work in the organization as a man, you cannot marry a lady in that organization because of the relationship, the process of leadership development. Because it can undermine your leadership. So the process is key. And like I said, it's not the title. Ladies and gentlemen, bosses have titles. Leaders have people. Write it down to help you. Bosses, or a boss has a title, a leader has the people. A boss has a title, a leader has the people. So as a leader, your focus should not be on the title or the position or the perks that come with the title, but your focus should be on the people. Why? Because it takes people to make you effective. That's the first thing. The second element that we see from the definition, ladies and gentlemen, is influence. Why? Because this is about the leader influencing the people, the followers. If you cannot influence people, you cannot lead them. Okay? We shall come to define what is influence. Because a lot of times we talk about influence, but we don't take time to ask ourselves what is influence. But we are saying that in the leadership definition, one of the key elements we should never lose sight of is the element of influence. Without influence, leadership does not exist. And leading does not occur. The question is, what is influence? The first letter of influence is I, isn't it? Yeah. It stands for integrity. It stands for integrity. And by the way, integrity is not a spiritual word. Integrity simply means walk your talk and talk walk your walk. Simple. In other words, whatever you tell your followers to do, you must live it. That's integrity. That's integrity. Very simple. And it has nothing to do with your title. It has nothing to do with your position. If you say everybody must go this direction, you must show it by example. That's leadership. And that's the first level of influence. You cannot influence me if what you prescribe for me a way of living, you cannot live it. How many of you have been to a doctor who said don't smoke, but you don't have to smoke. Smoking is not good for you. So do as I say, but don't do what I do. You get a point? That's not integrity. So leaders who don't have integrity, okay, integrity cannot, listen, you can pretend, but your leadership will never last. Okay? You can pretend to be integral, but your leadership will never last. Because integrity is like trust. Trust is a combination of character, but also competence. It's two words. If you are going to live by your value systems, be prepared to be isolated. Especially for those who work in corporate institutions. Because the system is so bad that if you are going to stick your neck out and say, I want to demonstrate a higher level of integrity, you are going to have to fight a bigger fight for your life. And that's a fact. Because this element of do what you say and say what you do is a big issue in our system. Number two, what's the next word? N. It's called nurture. Nurture. Nurture means to grow. Please grow yourself in your competence, your core area. So the word influence starts with an I, integrity. The next one is what? N, which is nurture. The next one is F. Please have faith in the people you are working with. Have faith in them. Nobody would be willing to follow you if they know you don't trust them. They know you don't have confidence in them. Let people know you have confidence in them. Have faith in them. Are we together? A leader must have confidence in the people. Jesus Christ told the disciples, get into the boat and cross to the other side. Why? He had confidence in them. Before he left, he called Peter and said, Peter, you are the rock. Upon this rock I will build my church. He had confidence in them. Have confidence in people. And if you have confidence in your junior staff, you will not become a title holder. Some bosses, if they don't come to work, they carry their key with them home. So, and they're looking for a file, which is in the office. They can't have it. Because the boss doesn't trust any of the junior staff. You don't have confidence in them. You cannot influence them. Yeah. Number three is what? L. Lean on each other. Team building. Lean on each other. The leader is supposed to know the talents, the skills, the abilities of every member in your group. That is why you must know your people and encourage them to build teams among them. Lean on each other. Tap into everybody's strengths and the weaknesses of somebody. Let the strength of somebody overcome or compensate for the weakness of the other. That is why you are a team. You are a team. Diversity. If one of us had one skill, then we don't have a team. You unite. Just like the lead each other. Unite them. Don't lead by divide and rule tactics. Especially in your reward systems. The next word is what? E, isn't it? E, excellence. Excellence. You cannot influence people if you're not excellent. Excellence is not expensive. Excellence simply means quality. Excellence. Lead by excellence. I wrote a book titled Excellence is a Choice. I will encourage you guys to. Now you can read all my books without buying for it, just by paying $1. You can read it online. I've shared the link on the platforms. Okay? So, excellence is a choice. You must be excellent in the things you do. Even if it's only one trouser you have, make it clean. Keep your office clean. Keep your car clean. it's not expensive things, but make sure there's neatness. And new. Please, a leader must read wide to be able to have new ways of doing things. Innovation. Be able to do things in a new way. That's called innovation. And you can't do things in new way, in new formats when you don't read. Look for other methodologies of doing things. It's called new. And I think the next word is C, isn't it? Yes. It's called commitment. The leader have to be committed. Commitment. Okay? Please understand that you must be committed to the people you are leading and be committed to the goal of the organization. That is why we say, be a good leader and a leader for good. Very, very important. Commitment. And the last word is E, isn't it? It's called expectation. Expectation. Your followers have an expectation of you. Okay? I don't expect my leader to behave in a certain way. How would you feel if a policeman stopped you on the way? If a policeman stopped you on the way and then he told you, have you heard of the latest joke in town? That was said on radio last Monday. He said, no, I haven't heard of it. Then he tells you and he says, please, you can go. A policeman. Is that what you expect from a policeman? To stop you and tell you a joke? No. So we have expectations of a policeman. Every leader must bear in mind your followers have an expectation of the role they expect you to play. And if you cannot go and play that role, or if you cannot play that role, you are losing influence on them. That's the word influence. Rate yourself on the scale of 1 to 10 on all of the variables. Then you can tell yourself whether indeed you are growing yourself to lead your people or not. So the question we must always ask ourselves is, if I'm a leader, then what am I doing? Thank you so much for investing your treasure time. This mission is for generations and generations for the good of Africa. Watch out for our next video. Africa needs you.